Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Awesome Sunday Show. Before we get started, we'd like to tell you where you can find us.
You can find all of our episodes, including new content like blogs and guest blogs, on our newly launched website, awesomesundayshow.com.
Woohoo!
Our podcast is also available on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. You can find all those links also on awesomesundayshow.com.
You can also follow us on our social media accounts, twitter.com/awesomesunshow, facebook.com/awesomesundayshow, and instagram.com/awesomesundayshow.
Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
You're the only one I care enough to... Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Awesome Sunday Show. And if this is your first time, thank you for listening to Awesome Sunday Show. Connor here.
And Pat as well.
Pat, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty swell. I had a day off today. I had a 12-hour shift yesterday, and it was beautiful outside. I tried to make the most of it.
I did see you walking around the neighborhood.
I did. Or you did. I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw it myself because I did it, but you saw me because you're driving.
Next time, just put some pants on.
I'll-
I saw a lot of kids recoil in terror.
The animals are scared too. Yeah. So we have a nice, exciting episode for you guys today. A trailer just dropped, a very specific trailer to a specific universe that 99.9% of the time releases a good movie. And we also have some very special guests, some reoccurring guests that haven't been back in a while.
Not one.
2 guests, plural. But before we get into that, folks, we have some words from our sponsors that we'd like to share with you.
Sure. This episode is sponsored by Loot Crate. For you Awesome Sunday Show listeners, they're offering you 10% off any new subscription by going to trylootcrate.com/awesome and entering the code BRIDGE10. Loot Crate is a monthly mystery crate that delivers the best in geek and gaming gear, from collectibles, apparel, tech gadgets, art, and other epic gear. It's like Comic-Con in a box. They offer a couple different memberships you could choose from: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And every month, for less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-kind items, and more. And they always theme it every month. Like, for instance, a few months ago, there was a Rick and Morty one. There's been Guardians of the Galaxy. There's been DC. They theme it. They always do a theme. You can see the theme every month by going to their website. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific any month to sign up and receive that month's crate. When the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. You know what? You might not see that stuff again. And by supporting Loot Crate, you're supporting our channel, our podcast. So all you have to do is go to trylootcrate.com/awesome and enter the code BRIDGE10. Save 10% on any new subscription. That's trylootcrate.com/awesome. And then when you check out, enter the code BRIDGE10.
That's pretty cool, man. I think I should sign up for Loot Crate. So should you. But you know what else you should sign up for? Gamefly. Because today's show is also brought to you by Gamefly.com. You can sign up for a free premium 30-day trial by going to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome. You know what's great about Gamefly? They have over 8,000 new releases and classics available to rent for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Wii U, Wii, and 3DS. And they even go far as back as Xbox, the original Xbox One, not Xbox One, the third console, the PS2, and GameCube. So that's pretty baller, especially if you're a classic gamer, even though classic gamer is kind of a broad term, considering how many video game consoles are out there now. As a Gamefly member, you can rent as many console or handheld games as you want and get them delivered right to your mailbox for one low monthly fee. There's a 1-disc plan for $15.95 a month and a 2-disc plan for $22.95 a month. And since games are shipped directly to you, including a pre-addressed envelope for easy returns, there's no contracts and you can cancel anytime. You have multiple games and movies rented out at the same time based on your membership. Rent games online through the mobile app as well, just in case you see an ad somewhere on a street and you're like, you know what, that game looks sweet. Go on your phone, pick it out. Next day, it's right there at your door. and there's absolutely no due dates. And you don't have to stand outside for midnight releases anymore because Gamefly does the release dates of your rented games, which is pretty awesome. And instead of buying 2 to 3 games a year, you can have an entire year's worth of Gamefly service and rent as many games as you want. Remember, there are absolutely no late fees, and there are over 8,000 games and movies. Remember, games and movies. So if you're done with your game, you can watch a sick movie. Warcraft's not one of them.
For no extra charge.
No extra charge. Remember, folks, go to www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome for the free 30-day trial. I'll repeat that one last time, www.gameflyoffer.com/awesome.
Great. Thank you to Loot Crate and Gamefly for sponsoring today's episode.
Yeah.
Now, Connor, you want to talk about the topic we're talking about today?
Yeah, so today's topic, we're actually going to be talking about the Thor Ragnarok trailer that just dropped. And it looks pretty sweet. And, Pat and I can talk about this all day. But, I think we've had like 2 or 3 episodes so far without guests. And I thought, let's bring some guests back on. So we have some reoccurring guests. And why don't we have them introduce yourselves? And, guys, just explain a little about yourselves just in case, this is someone's first Awesome Sunday show.
It's Chris. I'm back. I love this podcast very much. I love Star Wars. And, Ryan, you're up next, man. That's all I can really tell
Before
about
we get to that guy, I heard your favorite movie. Now, Connor's the one who told me this. I don't know how reliable this source is. That your favorite movie is Attack of the Clones.
That wounds me, Patrick.
Hey, I'm just telling you who told me.
That makes me really upset that you
I
said
didn't
that.
believe it.
I might leave this podcast right
Pat's favorite character is the slave trader from Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
That's better than your favorite character, Jar Jar Binks.
No, he's not my favorite character.
Jar
He's an
Jar.
abomination of a
That's-
character.
That's who's tattooed on your arm.
no.
Anyway,
Godzilla got
you're
tattooed
being
on my
rude
I
arm.
to
think
our
we
other
have
guest.
another guest that needs to introduce himself.
Speaking of Jar Jar Binks, let's have our guest introduce himself.
Are you guys sure I can go now?
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's guest number 2. I'm just a giant silhouette with a question mark for a face and a big number 2 on my stomach. My real
The letter or
I was about to say, what does
The
the number 2
turds.
stand for?
Wow, I really walked in.
I said letter and I meant number, obviously.
All right, so my real name's Ryan. I've been on the show a few times, so I'm looking forward to this ride. I did want to say one thing. Connor, your opening monologue was very impressive. It's almost like you were reading off a script or something.
I don't know how you remembered it all.
I messed up a few times. One of them wasn't my fault.
Sorry. Hey, sorry. That was Ryan.
It's all Ryan.
It happens.
Guys.
Don't worry about it.
So let's just get down to it, man. Let's talk about
Oh,
it.
is it your podcast?
No. We got to talk about it. Hi, welcome to the podcast. Chris and Pat here.
The only two that matter.
the nightly show with Chris Oleski.
All right, this is where I take it over. Your mics are turned off, and this is my podcast
I
now.
feel like Chris and Ryan should have their own podcast, but they just review
I would love that.
old porn.
What the hell?
pre-Bush and post-Bush.
I never agreed to working with Chris.
From a bird nest view.
So the porn idea is not what bothers you. It's working with Chris.
It's watching porn with Chris.
Well, I thought we were doing porn together.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with any part of this, to be honest.
Could you watch porn with a friend?
All right, let's not talk about that. Ryan,
I
would you do a
couldn't.
podcast with what's his name? Henry Herbert, the ghost that lives down here?
Probably.
Before we get into it, do you want to explain Henry?
I think we have on earlier podcasts.
Well,
but-
explain it again.
Okay, for anybody that has not heard the story before, or is not familiar with Connor and myself, so me and Connor came to this conclusion that we have.
Connor and I.
Okay, well, me and Connor came to this came to this conclusion that we have a mutual ghost or some kind of spiritual demon or something along those lines. We're not really sure what it is. It just happens every time we're together. There's always some weird things going on, and it's not just regular old paranoia. There's like some coincidences,
Like
there.
lights flicker, TVs turn on and off.
like the walls start bleeding and
Oh, sweet Jesus. The Marlin comes alive.
Dead bodies roll out of an elevator.
No, it's like the little weird stuff, like the TV goes on different channels and the volume keeps flying up. Then doors are closing.
It's like constant. It's like someone's constantly messing with you.
Yes, but it's only happens when the two of us are together.
We've heard doors shut, or I think I've heard door shut. I don't know.
No, we did hear it the one time right
Yes.
here in the basement.
Was it the time I was with you when I turned off all the lights and the one room light was on, but it was a room we never went in?
Yes, and there was a small child screaming in there.
See, what you guys don't know is it's really Damien, and he installed remote controls on pretty much every aspect in this house. So when he has cameras everywhere. If you look right up there, and he just presses a button anytime you two are together down here. To
You're
freak
giving
you out.
Damien way too much credit
Yeah,
right now.
dude,
He's not that smart.
You know what he's
the hell
capable
is a
of.
camera?
Absolute moron.
We all know what he's capable of.
Why did we settle on the name Henry?
I don't know. You picked it.
I did pick it, but
I thought it was a stupid fucking name, but I just kind of went with it to
for a
appease
stupid
you.
fucking ghost. He can't even haunt right.
Oh, dude, he's coming after you now,
Fucking
man.
rookie ghost.
That was
You
Connor.
laughed at my joke though. All right, so Thor Ragnarok. So before we start talking about the trailer, and why it's awesome, on Awesome Sunday Show, AwesomeSundayShow.com. I think we should kind of talk about the previous movies and how we feel about them. Whether I don't know, I know you guys said you saw them, Chris. You don't really remember them, I don't think that well, and I can understand why.
I can definitely carry a conversation. I
And
remember it well enough.
The Thor movies have always been kind of a split decision, starring James McAvoy. And boo. Sorry, I'll leave. Has always been kind of decisive among
Divisive.
divisive, whatever.
I'm just nailing tally marks of how many times we got to correct Connor tonight.
It's all right. I deserved it. I corrected Ryan.
Connor put his stupid hat on tonight.
All right, so a lot of people among the MCU fans like the first one a lot more, or the second one a lot more, or like
Neither.
or neither. So I'm curious to know where you guys are at. And of course, an Awesome Sunday Show tradition, the guests go first. So, what do you think is the better Thor movie? What do you not like about the Thor movies? Just give us like a quick synopsis on it.
I'm guest number 2, but I guess I'm going first because Chris is feeling a little microphone shy tonight.
Yeah, he's getting stage fright.
A little sheepish.
All right, so my experience with Thor. I've seen both Thor movies once each. It was kind of thing where like I watched them both and I just never felt the need to watch them again. Thor, they're not terrible movies, but they're just like, it's not the cream of the crop. It doesn't make my Marvel top 5, maybe not even my top 10 if there's that many, which I think there are.
Yes.
But they're pretty good. I'd say Thor the first one is probably the better movie. Thor 2, I think they had a lot more action and stuff from my recollection. I think anyway. They're not my favorite movies. I'm a big Captain America guy, so
Yeah.
they're good. They're entertaining. I don't feel the need to watch either one. But are we going into the trailer, or we're gonna save that?
Let's give our opinions on the Thor movies first, and
Okay.
then we'll dive into the trailer.
That's all I feel the need to say about the Thor movies.
I'll definitely go and piggyback with Ryan on that one. I saw him once, maybe the first one twice. They're good movies, very entertaining. I thought they were really well done movies. Not much to look into. I don't think there's something like you wouldn't see it twice and be like, oh, that's what I missed. It's pretty much all right there. There's not much mystery behind it. It's Thor. It's not that hard to understand. Definitely not my favorite Marvel. Obviously, it's gonna be Doctor Strange. But that being said, I like the second one more. There's definitely a lot more action. The first one, it sets it up perfectly. Like, he obviously comes to Earth, Hammer, all that stuff. Government's involved, yada, yada, whatever. Second one was good. A lot more action. And, yeah, it's pretty much about it. I mean, again, I'm not a huge Thor fan. Way better than Iron Man series, the movies, just saying that. And
You don't like the Iron Man movies?
Not
I don't
Iron Man
not
1.
like them, but I'm saying I believe, in my opinion, that the Thors are
I would say that
Iron
they're
Man.
better than Iron Man 2 and 3, but definitely not Iron Man 1.
But none of them beat Doctor Strange. God, I love that movie. Connor, you're up, man.
So I think I actually really enjoy the second movie, even though it has like some serious flaws in it. The storytelling kind of just like really always takes a step backwards when it takes one step forward. Wherein they focus on kind of like Jane Foster too much. In the second one, it kind of starts to fall off a little bit. And also kind of the Earth scenes are really boring. But when Thor is when Thor's on Asgard and when he's also fighting in the Dark World and he's fighting the villains, that's when it's really good. And also the relationship that Loki and Thor have throughout the movie, because there was so much built up and there's tension between them, I thought was really entertaining.
Yeah.
So I can really forgive its flaws for what it does right. The first movie I like. because Thor is good in it.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth is a good Thor.
Yes.
And I also liked Loki in it as well. Unfortunately, it just was kind of boring in a lot of. It didn't take a lot of risks.
It's almost like a build-up movie. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, here's a movie. Get ready for the next one. Here it comes. You know what I mean?
It didn't take a lot of risks. It was very standard. So even though I think you're right, technically the first movie, just from a movie-making perspective, is probably better than the second movie. But the second movie I find more entertaining because it does at least take risks. It's like, all right, let's at least try this for entertainment purposes. And also, too, like I like the fact that, like, spoilers, that Odin is asleep during most of the movie. So he's kind of unprotected. So there's kind of like that, like, weighing down on them as well. There was like a really cool like little twist in the movie that like is kind of a fake out, but usually like with movies I can get a fake out like before the fake out even starts.
Whoa.
Yeah, right. Or like it's very hard for me to get a twist ending over me. But like that little fake out like got me. I didn't see it coming at all. So I thought that was done really well. So the risks really is what stands out for that movie for me. And I could still watch Thor: The Dark World today and be entertained, whereas the first Thor movie it's good, but I'm like I'd rather put on something else over it. Pat?
Yeah, they're definitely the bottom tier of the MCU. Not the two worst. That would be Iron Man 2 and 3. But they're not great. They're not that bad. I do like the second one better, except for Malekith, because I think they kind of just did a shitty job with him. But the relationship between Thor and Loki throughout that movie, I agree with you, is the best part.
Yeah.
That's what makes the movie pretty good. And then I like the way they kind of handled the ether, which was the reality stone. I like the way they did that. But overall, yeah, it was neither of them the best. I think Chris Hemsworth was an excellent choice for Thor. Obviously, Loki is wonderful. Is probably the best MCU villain we've had so far, without a doubt. If you're not counting the Netflix villains, but yeah, there are some strengths, there are some weaknesses. I think Natalie Portman's character was a big weakness.
She was always the weakness
Kinda
of
just
the
put in
series.
Yeah, she was kind of just thrown in there. What is Stellan Skarsgård's name? Helvig or whatever? Professor Helvig. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. Whatever his name is, I think
Yeah.
he was great. I think he was a great choice, and I'm
He was
glad
funny
to
in
see
the
him.
second one.
He was funny in the second one. Kat Dennings was kind of just annoying, like a cringy humor. But I think the humor in Thor is actually very good. The references to Star Wars, like when you were talking about the fake outs when they were defeating Malekith and his army, was done very well. And then, of course, the ending. And Anthony Hopkins is a great Odin. And while I would have liked to seen him on screen more because it's Anthony Hopkins and he's a legendary actor, it makes sense for them not to have Odin that involved because Odin is ridiculously powerful. That Malekith and would not, and Loki being trying to take over Asgard would not have happened otherwise. Like it would have been like Odin steps up, sprinkle some Odin Force on it, and then problems are solved. But otherwise, yeah, they're not bad. I've seen them both a few times. If they're on, I'll watch them. I won't go out of my way to watch them, but there are good aspects to both of them.
They're entertaining. It's not like exactly. You wouldn't just be like,
And you know
I
what?
want to watch the first Thor.
I got to give them, Thor is a really challenging character to adapt because he's kind of ridiculous in a way, especially the way he talks.
Yeah, it's
and the way like he's this like golden demigod looking at, and like if you ever have read Thor in a comic, not necessarily a comic that Thor has been in, the way he talks is like extremely like Old English and what you would expect in like an a medieval ages like to be.
Yeah, it's
so it's a little bit difficult to make people to relate to him.
His demeanor is also like not very relatable either because of how his character is. And I think they're going to kind of change that in the third Thor movie because he's been around Earth for so long and around human characters. Because Thor's not human.
No, he's a demigod.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that. He's not human at all. And even though he looks exactly like a human. And right, Thor's very silly in the comic book world, and like it's hard. I think what the movies have at least done right to a certain degree was like not make it like, dude, that does not fit in this universe whatsoever. You don't question that Thor is a part of the MCU, which is what I like, because it's so easy for it to be like, nope, can't. No, why would a demigod be fighting along with Spider-Man? Doesn't make sense. But they somehow pulled it off, and like that's better than it needed to be, really.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, so let's break down this trailer.
Yeah. So again, as traditional Awesome Sunday Show fashion, the guests go first. What do you guys think of the trailer?
I thought it was amazing. I think,
Right?
I'll be honest with you. I really think, like Connor, I think you hit it on the head. I think Connor Orpath said this.
I probably said it.
Guardians of the Galaxy-ish.
As Guardians of the Galaxy. See what I did there? I can't get credit because I take credit for that because it's been all over the internet as soon as it happened. So,
But that, like, you got Led Zeppelin in the background, and you got all these action sequences flowing perfectly with the song. It's amping it's amping everybody up, and I
Yes.
personally can't wait for it. It looks like it's going to be constant action, and it was an amazing trailer. Jeff Goldblum, shout out. Didn't see that coming. I mean, I heard about it, but I was like,
I'm always happy to see Jeff Goldblum on screen.
Hulk
Love
rolled
the
in.
guy.
My favorite reaction, he was like, "Oh, I know him." That was
We know
awesome.
each other.
We know
from work.
each other from work.
And the whole crowd
And
was quiet.
Yeah, including Loki, who is sitting up there with Grandma, and he knows Hulk, and he knows that Thor has worked with him. His reaction was still good. And the Led Zeppelin song is a good point. It's the immigrant song, and I think it fits Thor, like, not to mention this movie itself, especially for the subject matter, but it fits it so well because it's about Vikings.
It's all lore. Yeah, it's all their
It's
lore.
about Viking lore.
Valhalla.
And not to mention, in the one verse, he goes, the hammer of the gods, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and then how they're going to Valhalla, which is the Asgardian afterlife.
Yep.
Like the Asgardian heaven. So it really fits the trailer, along with the pacing of it, too, obviously.
Who is the
like the
villain,
subject
real quick?
matter.
I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to look her up. She
Kate
looks-
Blanchett, she's playing Hela.
Yeah.
Who is that?
In the comics, she is the daughter of Loki, but it
Ooh,
seems like
it's
she's
to
gonna
be
be
seen.
she's gonna be
Yeah.
much
Looks a lot more
much more of an
powerful.
older god
Yeah.
in a way.
They're not going to do that for the movie, are
No,
they?
I really hope not.
I doubt that. I think they'll twist that around a little bit. But she is the ruler of the Asgardian hell.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting little battle right there. Because man, those Asgardian army had no idea that was gonna happen. That cloud of death that came flowing through.
And also in the trailer, Mjolnir gets destroyed.
Yeah, she crushes it with her bare hand.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty badass.
And nobody else was able to pick up the hammer besides Thor and Vision. And
So far in the MCU.
so far. Well, now
Captain
she-
America almost was able to.
Yeah,
Well,
but not
and-
because of strength, because of worthiness.
Yes. And, well, she didn't even... Normally when, like, you throw the hammer at somebody, if they catch it, their hand is going to fall, if they're able to catch it. But she was able to catch it, and then with her magic and her powers,
Dude,
just fucking
crush
shattered it.
Yeah. Dude, it's gonna get crazy.
Which,
man.
that part is on Earth.
Yeah.
Because you could see the graffiti and like dumpsters and the shit in the background. What? And part of the movie is going to take place on Earth again. Because if you saw the Doctor Strange post-credit scene, you see Thor comes to Earth to seek out Doctor Strange's help in fighting Odin. Because after Thor: The Dark World, Loki took over and posed as Odin, and I guess sent Odin to Earth.
Holy hell, this is I'm telling you right now. The more I think about it, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it again. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. It's gonna be real good.
All right, so yes, Thor Ragnarok. It Ragnaroked my socks off. Right?
That was
All right.
terrible. You were thinking about
Yeah,
that
that's
for
pretty
too
bad.
long, man.
It'd be better if I didn't mess it up the first
Just
time.
edit it out, please.
You just
You will leave that in. All right, so the trailer had a really good feel to it. I really enjoyed it. I think that if the tone for the trailer was set the tone for the whole movie, I think I'd really enjoy it. It looks like a fun movie.
Well, Ryan, you know who directed this? Do you?
Is it James Gunn?
No.
No.
Well, it
No, I
has
was going to
James
say
Gunn feel to
it's
it.
Taika Waititi who did your favorite movie, What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, Jesus.
So I hope there's some biscotti
I
in it.
love that
No,
movie.
no thanks.
I hope they serve you a big plate of biscotti.
Let's get it,
I
dude.
hope it's nothing like that.
Eat the
But
biscotti.
it did
But,
have
dude,
a very...
What We Do in the Shadows is such a funny movie.
That's not... I'm
Amazing
not,
movie.
I don't want to talk about that right now. Yeah, so it had a really... I agree. Obviously, it had a very Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, with the music and just the tone. I'll tell you what, I really like what they're. I guess I really like Cate Blanchett as the.
She's a
as the
fantastic
antagonist.
actress, and
she's
I hope
a good actress. But like
Shit.
just getting the feel from her and getting her vibe in that movie, I was like, wow, this
Powerful.
looks good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
yeah.
it.
I hope they don't waste her, which has been a common thing. Like the Marvel villains are, kind of flat, or they just, with the exception of like Loki, really, that they just kind of don't write them as strongly, or they're dead by the end of the movie. And I hope that's not the case here, especially because going up to Infinity War, there's a big theory that I think is a really good theory, and I think it's a good twist if they do it. Is that since she is the ruler of hell, and she's like the goddess of death in Asgardian lore, that she will replace the entity of death as Thanos' object of affection.
Yeah, and it would make sense because in the comics, it's like Thanos being in love with death. You don't really like question it, but from a movie audience perspective, they've never seen death on screen.
Yeah, it's
so there's-
literally the entity of death, which is more or less what you expect a Grim Reaper to look like.
exactly. So, and like
And that's his motivation for getting the Infinity Gauntlet and wiping out the universe, is because he
Exactly.
wants to please death.
So if that theory is right, I actually would kind of like that because then it's already a character that's established. So from an audience perspective, if you're not a huge comic book fan, it's like, oh, okay, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that Thanos would fall in
And
love
it's
with her.
not as out there of a concept,
Right.
really. Because thinking of death as
It works
a
in the comics.
physical form, yeah, but it's
a lot of
definitely
things
very
work in the
different.
comics.
Yeah. So I think that would be cool, and I would love to see Cate Blanchett in another movie because she's a really great actress.
Yeah.
For sure, and she does look awesome in this. She actually, in the one scene of her when she first steps on Asgard, she's like right before she blows the shit out of it, she kind of looks like Marion Cotillard, however the fuck you say her name. Real quick, it's not that big a deal, but yeah, there's one scene where she looks like Marion Cotillard before she blows up Asgard, but her suit and her helmet are actually very comic accurate, a lot of green and black, which actually mimics Loki's suit,
Yeah.
including his new one that he has in here. And speaking of helmets, Thor has a helmet that is, a nod to his one in the comics, which appears ever so shortly in the first Thor movie, but this one looks more badass. Loki has his signature helmet back, looks awesome, and he's just flipping knives like it's no big deal. And when we first see Loki on screen, he's sitting with the Grandmaster, aka Jeff Goldblum, who is the leader of the planet Sakaar, which is the planet we see Thor and Hulk fighting on, which is where the events of Planet Hulk take place. And he enjoys games and chants and stuff. So I wonder what Loki was doing there. If he had Thor get captured by Hela, set him up to get captured, and then wanted to watch him get his ass kicked, or he was just there trying to bring Thor back. Maybe Loki was able to escape Asgard before Hela takes that shit out. But we do see Loki getting ready to fight, and that could be against Hela or for her, or in a rebellion on Sakaar. But Thor seeing Hulk was definitely, his reaction was awesome.
Yeah, that was the highlight.
I love the whole crowd just goes silent.
And then also in Planet Hulk, in the movie and the comics, Hulk fights Beta Ray Bill. So like, it's not really like it's
And Beta Ray Bill is like if Thor was a horse.
yeah,
humanoid
it's an alien
person.
Thor.
Yeah.
And Beta Ray Bill is not as strong as Thor, but he's pretty close. So like
He pretty much has the same outfit. He also wields a hammer-like weapon.
So this is the closest thing we'll ever get to really like a Planet Hulk movie, a live action one. But it's also it's blending the Thor, it's blending Ragnarok in there.
Yeah, and for those Ragnarok is actually two things in the comics. But in this case, it's talking about the Asgardian apocalypse.
Yeah. So it's the death of Odin and
Asgard.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the wiping out of Asgard, which we see Hela do. The other use of Ragnarok in the comics was when in the Civil War event, when Reed Richards and Tony Stark created a Thor clone named it Ragnarok, and he killed Gladiator. which was stupid. But
Yeah.
so that's what. Yeah, Ragnarok is the apocalypse of Asgard. We see Heimdall without a helmet, and he's got some dreads, and he actually looks like Bishop from the X-Men movies.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
Right?
He looked exactly like Bishop from Days of Future Past.
Yeah. Great to see Idris Elba in it again. Dude's the man. And he's fighting one of Hela's forces. And we see Carl Urban, who's playing Scourge, dual-wielding M16s, just going ham on the people around him, which actually happens in the comics. Like, he does dual-wield M16s in the comics sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. He's known as Scourge the Executioner. So it's definitely going to be cool. I'm excited for Carl Urban. I'm really excited for some of the action here. I think that's going to be really cool, especially the gladiator matches. I want to see the full fight of Hulk and Thor, and Hulk's gladiator armor looks awesome.
Oh, it's perfect. It's so, and obviously it's the same Hulk design that we got from Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't know. Is Mark Ruffalo going to be in the movie, like as Bruce Banner? Do we know?
I mean, I don't know, but
That's
it's
the question I brought up before.
the movie has been pitched as a buddy action, a kind of cop buddy action road trip adventure between the two, in like sort of an 80s vibe, which you can get an 80s vibe from the trailer itself,
Right.
and then the logo especially is full 80s. So I'm sure at some point we'll see Banner, maybe. I don't know.
But
Because, I mean, Ruffalo did all the mocap, so I'm assuming that he's not going to have like a single speaking line. But if you remember, at least in the Planet Hulk movie and in the comics, Hulk is able to talk clearly.
yeah, Hulk
in it.
is like somewhat sentient in a way, whereas
It's not just Hulk smash, Hulk
Yeah.
this, Hulk that. He's actually like Banner communicating through Hulk almost.
well, and the Hulk can talk in the MCU. He just doesn't. He says "puny God" in Avengers when he like smashes Loki against the floor. So he has an idea of speech. He even says Hulk smash in when Edward Norton played him. So I kind of hope Hulk has some dialogue in this. I would like to see him grow more intelligent, especially if it's going to be scenes like sharing between Thor and Hulk. Like even if Hulk is just like just like kind of just speaks and not so concise, but you can understand him. I think that'd be interesting.
I would like that.
Yeah, or if he, does a lot of reverting to and back from the Hulk would be cool. But yeah, I want a sentient Hulk. I think that's pretty cool. I don't want him grunting the entire time.
I like when Hulk can talk, especially in Planet Hulk, because spoilers, Planet Hulk he becomes the king, right? He like takes over the planet.
And then he bounces.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Well, in the comics, he goes back to Earth and tries to wipe out the Illuminati, which is the team who sent him there, composed of Professor X, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and starts Gladiator fights between the heroes in Madison Square Garden. It's pretty badass.
it is badass. We're not gonna see that in the MCU though,
No,
mainly because a
unfortunately.
lot of those characters aren't in the MCU.
Yeah. Some other things that I want to talk about. I think Thor looks way more intimidating with his short hair.
Yes, I like it better with the short hair.
We see Valkyrie, who is going to be Thor's new love interest, replacing Jane Foster because Natalie Portman is not coming back to the MCU. And Valkyrie is an Asgardian warrior. I guess in the movie she's going to start off working for the Grandmaster in some sort of way. She seems kind of like a scrapper, and she brings Thor to the Grandmaster, so she's obviously working for him. I want to see how much ass she's going to kick. And that's Tessa Thompson, who, if you guys have seen Creed, she was the love interest in Creed.
Yeah, she's also one of the main characters in Westworld. And you guys see Westworld?
No.
Yes.
Dude, which character?
She was like one of the people on the board of that tries to get Anthony Hopkins fired. She was really good in that show.
Yeah, I've seen Westworld. It's excellent.
And speaking a little bit about the Grandmaster, he's one of the elders of the universe. So he's old. He's very powerful. He's pretty much more or less like, I mean, he's not an actual god, but he's close to it. He's an elder, just like the Collector is, Benicio del Toro's character. So he's been around for a while. He's had his hand in a lot of events. He does have some powers, including energy manipulation, psionics. And I'm excited to see what Jeff Goldblum does with this.
Yeah, I am the Grandmaster.
I am Brundle Grandmaster.
Brundlefly.
Nature finds a way.
Or if
I
he's
love
gonna
Jeff
say
Goldblum.
that's a big pile of shit.
I was just thinking about that.
Must go faster. Must go faster.
And in the trailer, at least, we haven't seen the Warriors 3 plus Lady Sif, who we were both in both the first two Thor movies,
Yeah,
and who are huge Thor characters.
I didn't notice that, actually.
I don't know if it's true, but I read a comment that said one of the warriors that was riding the eagle in the one scene, or riding some flying beast, was one of the warriors, but I didn't seem like that way. And none of them are confirmed to be in the movie. Although Jamie Alexander, when somebody asked her about that, she goes, "Just wait and see." So I'm assuming they'll be in at some point, but there's no hint to this. I mean, granted, this is like more of a teaser trailer than anything, but they weren't in it. But I'm sure they're going to be in it to stop Hela invading Asgard, at least.
Yeah,
Whether they live or die, I doubt they'll die.
It'd be kind of weird if they just like weren't there. Like, I hate when movies do that, when like a character's just gone and they never explain why.
And another theory is that we will see the Soul Stone in Thor in Ragnarok.
They have to.
They're running.
now.
Yeah, they're running
Yeah.
out of time to use it, and it would fit very well with the goddess of death. Having a Soul Stone makes sense, and that could be what she uses to completely obliterate Asgard. Because every Infinity Stone, Infinity Gem, whichever you want to call it, has crazy amount of power.
Yeah.
And so her being a possession of the Soul Stone is appropriate. And in the MCU, when they've shown the stones, the Soul Stone is orange. And while it looks like fire, it could be an energy blast from the Soul Stone, which makes it seem that way.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
The Thor movies have always been cosmic. So which stone did you see or you see the Infinity Gauntlet in the first Thor movie?
Yes, in Odin's vault.
Right. So I think it's perfect. It's a perfect fit, especially since Infinity War comes out next year.
Yeah. Speaking of the Infinity Gauntlet, maybe we'll find out if the one that Thanos has in the post-credit scene of Age of Ultron is the one from Odin's vault, or a different one of his own design, or that he got somewhere else.
It could be he got it from somewhere else.
Maybe that'll be addressed.
There are little subtle changes in the MCU that they kind of just ignore, like Jane Foster just not being in it. That's mainly because of Natalie Portman not being there anymore, as we covered. But I don't know. I thought maybe that was more of like an Easter egg than anything.
It probably was, yeah, at the time. But we'll see. Maybe it's addressed. Maybe it's not. Don't know.
I think it doesn't need to be addressed.
Maybe Doctor Strange, like we talked about.
Well,
Strange
possibly.
maybe.
Well, one way it could be addressed is why Loki is on Sakaar, because he needs to get Thor back because he notices the gauntlet's gone. Maybe he's like, "Oh shit, something's coming." Then,
Yeah.
or he finds out like Thanos. I wonder if we'll see any influence of Thanos or any glimpse of him. I'm sure he'll probably be in a post-credits part, if anything.
Well, I was thinking about something earlier. I mean, does Hela, this is a character we haven't seen yet. Does Loki's ruling over Asgard, is that a coincidence with her showing up? Did he have something to do with it? And maybe
With her coming to light? you mean?
Exactly, yeah. Did he, maybe she was imprisoned or something and he kind of let her free. And then, I mean, it's possible, where he was like, holy shit, what did I do? And he Thor's help. So, I mean, because we've seen Loki work with Thor before, post-Avengers and everything like that.
I don't know if I want to see Loki and Thor work together again. It's kind of like
I have a fear they will. Honestly.
I mean, it's a good dynamic.
I
between
like
the two.
them when they work together, but at the same time, eventually Loki's just gonna turn on him.
Yeah.
And it's
But,
almost like it's a
Loki's
waiting
out
game.
for his own personal.
Exactly,
gain.
that's what I
That's
mean.
always the case.
You know,
But
well, in the second movie, the motivation was the death of their mother.
Yep.
yes, in this one it could be, hey, Loki finds out that Thanos is gathering the stones. He's got a gauntlet, and he's like, "Oh shit! Like, Thanos is already pissed at me because I failed in getting, destroying the Avengers, destroying Earth, conquering it, and getting him even more of the stones. And I live in this galaxy, this universe. Thanos is gonna, eliminate it. Let's get our shit together and help out. Because if Tom Hiddleston's in Infinity War, obviously Loki's gonna. Well, actually, Loki could play both sides on that.
Could Thanos have somehow not instigated but sent Hela, right?
Yeah.
Could he have maybe influenced that arrival of Hela? Because now Loki has power of Asgard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's posing as Odin, the ruler of Asgard.
Could he have maybe influenced it? Thanos, maybe all of a sudden Thanos is like, yo, why? How does Loki, after failing to take the Infinity Stone from Earth, maybe he got a little pissed off and maybe influenced somehow Hela's arrival to challenge Loki's rule in Asgard to get whatever's in Odin's vault? Possible? Big stretch?
Could be. I think one probability of Hela deciding she wants to destroy Asgard after coming out from Hell could be Loki is revealed to have been posing as Odin, and since she is more powerful than Loki and could be less powerful than Odin, she sees it as her opportunity since Odin is not there to take over or destroy Asgard.
That's a good point.
She's like, I have this opening, I'm gonna take it. Or, she's been dwelling for so long, and then finally, whatever reason, maybe it could be, not Thanos showing up specifically, but a presence of Thanos being felt or an influence of something. But I think the likely thing is Loki being revealed as posing as Odin. And
so she challenges his rule.
Yeah, challenges his rule is going to take that shit over. And speaking of how when Thor is getting lowered in with the chain, you can see all I don't know what there actually are, but for now I'm going to call them Hell Beasts awakening, and getting ready. And I believe Scourge is in this movie, and he's an Asgardian demon. So maybe.
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Yeah, well, we didn't see him in the trailer, is what I'm saying. So if he's probably down there waiting and he's going to do whatever, or he's the one that Hela has obliterate Asgard.
Okay. I see where you're going. Yeah. Those are all good theories. I think that is probably how it could play out. I am definitely.
I said Scourge. I meant Serdar.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I meant Serdar. My bad.
Yeah, because Scourge is an Asgardian warrior.
Yeah.
Carl Urban's playing. Yeah.
Who's the god? The Hell Beast.
Serdar. He's like a fire demon, pretty much.
Serdar? Sutar?
Serdar.
Yeah, Setter.
Setter right there.
Sitar. I don't know. I personally just can't wait in general, to be honest with you. The more we talk about it, the more excited I'm getting because of the unknown.
In my opinion, the Thor movies have gotten better.
Oh yeah,
over
definitely.
time.
I mean, I think
from
we
the
all
first to the
agree.
second one. So I think this one will be the best
We
one.
can definitely all agree the first one is one of those movies. They made it. All right, it's got to set everything up. So now you got to, for somebody who doesn't know the universe, who doesn't know the comics, that first movie, as boring as it may be to us, because we know the universe very well. It's good because it sets up everything. It transitions smoothly to the second one, obviously, and now it's going to go into the third one. So, yeah, they definitely have gotten a lot better, and especially with this trailer. I mean, like Ryan said, if that sets the tone for the movie, this movie is going to be action-packed and amazing.
I also like how Thor's character has become more relatable, too, because they did that in Thor the Dark World. And what we see in the trailer, which was such a funny line, what we said before, is I know him from work talking about the Hulk.
Yeah.
That's such a Earth thing to say.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and then the fact that Thor considers, saving Earth
a job.
Work. Yeah, like a job.
Yeah, like a human would, going and waking up 9 to 5 Monday
Well,
to
they've
Friday.
done it for 14, 15 movies or whatever now.
Yeah.
It's pretty much is a job. Not counting the adventures they had that was off screen. You kind of get the hint of that in Age of Ultron when they're all rushing towards whatever siege was being held up or whatever. That they just constantly work together.
And we'll probably aside from the mockumentaries of what Thor was doing during Civil War, maybe we'll see what he's actually doing. We'll see how long Hulk was on Sakaar, or what he was doing that led to him getting to Sakaar, how he's captured,
Yeah.
everything like that. But you got to be pretty powerful to capture
The
Hulk.
Maybe he went there by choice. Nobody knows.
Is there anything else you guys?
I'll be honest. I mean, I pretty much said everything I was going to say. It's just I just can't wait.
One other thing I noticed in the trailer is when we see Thor landing on Sakaar, along with the ships behind him, you could see wormholes in the sky.
Because that's never happened in a movie before.
Well, but these ones are for teleportation, it seems like.
Right.
Which was similar to what was opened up on Earth and what, could be like their connection to getting from different sides of the galaxy. But it's not like the world-destroying wormhole. It looks more like it's for transportation.
Have you ever noticed that there, like the past 3 or 4 years has been
Blue light.
A lot of movies have just had giant wormholes in the sky.
Blue energy beam going into the sky and opening up a wormhole.
Yeah.
That's
the New
what
Ninja
Suicide
Turtles movie
Squad
had
was.
that.
Suicide Squad, Avengers,
Yeah. Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Yeah. It's commonplace now.
It's a cliche.
Fantastic Four.
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic Four had that.
Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was telling Pat the other day. I recently watched Fan Four Stick. Finally. And dude, it's as bad as everyone says it is. It's fucking terrible.
I still didn't get around to seeing it, and I'm not in a rush.
You're not missing anything.
I won't see it.
They never use their powers. There's never been a good Fantastic Four movie. The Roger Corman one is the best one still. And that movie was meant to be bad so they can keep the rights. Like, it was never meant to even be released.
I refuse to see those movies. I think I saw maybe half of the first one, and I said, nope, turned it off. And that was on TV. It wasn't even like I actually went out to buy it or rent it or something. Like, I didn't even spend money on that. And I
You were
was
just
like,
wasting your life.
Two
Yeah.
words: Michael Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis was great, but that was Chris Evans' first superhero role.
Yeah.
Thank God he's out of that friggin' whatever universe realm.
That's
whatever
why
you
he
wanna
was
call it.
reluctant to do the
Thank
Captain
God.
America movies because of the Fantastic
He's
Four
actually done a
movies.
number of comic book movies. The Fantastic Four one, Scott Pilgrim, The Losers, Puncture,
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
I kind of like that movie, by the way.
Was there-
Snowpiercer's great.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie.
Yeah.
He was in Attack of the Clones
It's a
too.
superhero movie?
It's a
Chris
comic book
Evans?
movie.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
he
was like,
played
wait, what?
Yoda, the little green guy. That was false. That's not
Yeah,
real.
'cause if someone actually believed you.
She was like, "No way."
You're wrong.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. I
That,
think
that pretty much covers it because there's still a lot of unknowns. There's still a ways to go because this doesn't come out till November.
What movies are coming out between? Because Guardians comes out in May,
Comes out next month.
and then
Spider-Man is in July.
Spider-Man's July. What else is between Thor and Guardians?
Marvel wise?
Marvel wise, besides Spider-Man.
When does Thor come out?
No, it's just
got a release
there's
date
3
yet?
Marvel movies and 3 Marvel shows this year.
Okay, so all right, they're not doing.
Well, I mean, Punisher's not confirmed to. No, actually, I think it is confirmed.
just
They just don't have a
finished
date
up.
for
Yeah, I was just saying.
it. But I mean, release date. So, Iron Fist is the one first show, obviously, and then Defenders August 18th,
yeah.
and then Punisher sometime in the fall,
Oh, that's gonna be good.
like maybe October, November-ish.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, it's their new format now is three movies every year.
Right.
Cool.
All right. Well, folks, that about wraps up this episode. What did you think of the trailer? And let us know your favorite parts of the trailer and whether you think the movie's gonna be good or not. How do you feel about the Thor movies as well? Let us know in the comments below.
Do you want to take Henry off Ryan's hand?
email us?
Help me.
Are you really the ghost that's here?
Maybe.
Are you the ghost of Burrsville, which does not exist?
I'm not getting into that. Chris, Ryan, thank you for coming on.
Thank you
As
both.
always,
My-
pleasure. Thank you guys for having us.
My pleasure, as always.
And
what is
thank
this,
you-
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, it is. My
Yeah, well,
pleasure.
shout out to all the sponsors for.
Can I get you a refill,
Yeah.
sir?
Huge shout
And
out to
again,
our
thank you to
sponsors.
Loot Crate for sponsoring us today. If you want to join Loot Crate, you just go to trylootcrate.com/awesome and type in the code BRIDGE10. That's BRIDGE10 to save 10% on any new subscription. Pretty damn cool service.
Yeah, and remember, guys, if you want a free 30-day trial to Gamefly, go to www.gamefly.com.
Gameflyoffer.com.
Gameflyoffer.com/awesome. I'm never this bad. When it
See,
comes
you
to
see what
ads.
I'm working with, guys?
No, that one day you were awful.
All right, yeah. That was the first time we had ads, and I was
It
a
was
little
not
nervous.
the first time.
Yes, it was. You shut your whore mouth, all right? All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and take it easy.
Peace.
See you next time.
Bye.